Today we need to talk about Jimin revealing that he might have something going on soon and something he needs to say right now. We also have Jimin addressing sort of the hate comments that he has gotten recently during live, and then we have a Jimin apology. Say Dumplings is Dave, decide hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab a dumpling, a taste-filling mukbang, and let's go. Jimin hasn't really been on a live stream in a while, or at least it feels that way. I don't know the exact date of the last time he went live, but there's definitely a reason to celebrate him going live more recently. During the last few times Jimin has gone live, if you did not know, he was live with the other BTS members. Of course, he has been live since then, but it's important to note why he may not want to go live. A little while ago, Jimin and BTS were live, and it appeared like Jimin was on his phone during the stream. So the way it works is that the boys stream on Weverse, and then they can opt for looking at the comments on their phone or their computer. So the comments will appear on the sidebar and they can just read that or answer questions. When the boys are all together, the streaming process is a little bit different because there's so many of them. It would be quite difficult for everyone to cuddle around a phone and then all of them at once look at the screen to answer questions. What they would do is have their staff get a separate camera, usually one of nicer quality, then a webcam or front-facing camera, and then connect that camera to the computer and stream with that camera. So this means they won't have access to the comments. So how do they view it? They use their phone or tablet and log on to Weverse to basically watch the stream like how we would watch it, and then view the comments like that. So when you see the boys on their phone during a live, it's not that they're texting someone or being rude, they're looking at the comments. One time when Jimin looked, it appeared like his face changed and he seemed really angry. It's one thing for that to happen, but it seemed like other members also had read something and then also appeared angry. The only thing they are reading is the comments. They would not be reading text or news articles, so someone somewhere must have put a nasty comment. And if anyone wants to argue and say, couldn't he have just gotten a notification that a family or friend had an emergency? I would argue against that to say if there was any personal information that happened, the members wouldn't just stay on the stream. They would log off and leave and go attend to that emergency. Jimin also just naturally receives a lot of threats and hate comments as well, and the fandom tries really hard to shelter that from him. Given how big he has become and how hard he has worked, he definitely does not deserve to see those comments that make him think, why do I even work so hard if everyone hates me? So I want to actually congratulate Jimin for being brave and coming on live again, knowing that there's a possibility of getting more hate. And not only just coming on live, but deciding that he will read the comments and interact. Jimin read a comment that was hilarious, which was an ARMY talking about how she dreamt that Jimin and her were on a date, and then shortly after Jimin broke up with her. Of course, Jimin had a great laugh when he read this and actually decided to just apologize. People were confused in a funny way why Jimin even apologized, since this was not a real situation and he definitely did not need to say sorry for something that did not happen. Fans have also asked him for new solos and new things, and I think most of us thought that each member would probably only have enough time to release just one thing before they enlist, but it seems like a lot of the members are working quietly behind the scenes to make things before they go. This is definitely a smart move, as they definitely won't have a lot of time to be super active with promoting a second album, but I think it is very cool to just have the content there, and then HYBE can work on the release of that content while everyone is in the military. There seemingly won't be a break with BTS content. It seems like they will fill in the gap quite well. Jimin talked about how he has the type of personality that makes it difficult for him to sit still and do nothing. He talks about how it's very difficult for him to start something new, but he knows that he has to or wants to do it. He urges ARMYs to be patient and wait for whatever he is preparing right now. And I don't think I've heard too many people complain about the members taking too long. Overall, I think people understand that good art takes time, and so people are more patient with that nowadays. Jimin was very clear about wanting that extra time. People do think that the new stuff is going to be something completely different and original, and I definitely believe that. For me, even the song Like Crazy was something very original and different for K-pop. I don't think I've ever heard that type of sound in K-pop, and I don't know if I've heard that sound even from more Western music. Jimin said that he felt like he needed to say this message to ARMY, and this is very interesting. We will definitely all be waiting for this, and we're all excited to see what he comes up with. I think we are excited to have some amazing BTS content to fill the gap. I'm also excited to see how they manage to promote and do the rollout of the album and music if Jimin and other BTS members are not physically there to promote it. Meaning anything that will air during award shows or anything like that would have to be something pre-recorded from HYBE and then submitted to these talk shows and award shows to air. And then things like interviews and stuff will have to be pre-recorded as well, and then not released until the album comes out. Of course, this means they will have to distribute the album to many different media sites before the release, and that is a leaking disaster waiting to happen. But I think this will be very interesting and could potentially set up K-pop into this new world where idols can take a break or a short break, but before they do, they must prepare a lot of pre-recorded content and then they can go. It'll also change the landscape so that idols won't feel super burnt out all the time when they do things, because they would have had that break. A lot of the burnout that artists experience during their promotion period is hate comments and those sorts of things, which will be tough if HYBE decides to put out content during a break, because the artist can't just hop on a live stream or do an interview and address these issues. They basically just have to read the comments and headlines and just deal with it. One thing that I will say is that media sites, journalists, and people who write opinion pieces are often not doing it out of malicious intent. So even if they write a headline calling a celebrity a terrible person, more often than not, the journalist doesn't actually even care about what is happening. They're just doing what they think will get attention. It's not morally right and ethically. It's also really bad, but I don't know if it helps anyone to know that the people who write those terrible pieces or make those terrible videos on any public figure don't actually really care or deeply hate the person they're writing about, because that can sometimes be a thing that artists struggle with. Why do these reporters hate me? They don't. They just know that if they write things in a certain way, it'll get the attention of the artist, and maybe the artist will respond and they get another story, or they just know that it'll get attention. Jimin has also gotten a lot of hate, and those news articles that decided to spin a story to say that Jimin is rude or whatever, they need to stop, because Jimin has never purposely tried to be rude. A situation may look bad, but that is because we don't know what happened behind the scenes, or it's a misinterpretation. So what happened? Well, Jimin got a ton of hate before when he attended a Tiffany event a little bit ago, the brand Tiffany. There was a video where Jimin left through the back door to get into his car, and people were upset because there were hundreds, if not thousands of people that had lined up outside the Tiffany event just to meet Jimin or just to see him. They all felt snubbed because Jimin decided to leave the event without ever going out to say hi. A reporter was even able to go to the back door area and catch Jimin leaving, and this didn't help when Jimin chose to not interact with the reporter. Rumors spread further after other footage of the night came out where Jimin was unable to interact with any of the celebrity photographers or whatever that night. And so people thought he was in a bad mood. And those were the kinder comments. Jimin got all sorts of things, including death threats, which obviously I will not put here. Now, during the recent live stream that Jimin held, he shockingly addressed this issue and spoke about what actually happened behind the scenes. Jimin said that he was on his way back home after finishing the event and wanted to greet everyone before he left. He changed or got ready, probably meaning he freshened up and went outside. Him and his team were excited to greet everyone, but when he went outside, he said that he noticed that literally no one was outside and that he and his team had opened the wrong door. For safety reasons and maybe for scheduling issues, it would make no sense for him to literally go back inside and then re-exit through the front. So he and his team just guided Jimin into their car. Of course, armies then went back to the clip that was circulating around where the reporter had caught Jimin leaving, and people noticed that Jimin was indeed looking around and was quite shocked that there wasn't a single person there. Because I think even most places would have at least had one or two fans who would have snuck in the back. But I don't know. Jimin said he was shocked, and obviously I'm glad he addressed that because he did get a lot of hate for that and really for a big misunderstanding. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.